Alright guys, good morning. So on EURUSD we haven't had much development since yesterday. What we could see is that after price made that push up, it's come down and it's basically forming liquidity just above this demand. So we're just waiting for price to just, continue down lower, look for confirmations and target this supply, which we have liquidity under. And then, yeah, we're basically waiting for clear direction since we're between this demand and this supply. So we just want to see which trend direction price wants to break out of, either heading down lower or breaking this supply and heading up higher. Because on the XY, as we discussed, it's not clear. We're moving up, but there's no clear bullish momentum. It's moving really compressively, and we have left this demand. We want to see price come down, react to the demand, and continue up higher. But without momentum, it's obviously not going to happen, and it could still come down lower since we have this demand remaining over here. So this could all just be liquidity building up to come down lower. So that's why we just want to take it slow and see what EURUSD will provide us as well, because we also want to be bullish on EU and head up higher. So we were very impulsively moving up on EU, and now we've had this dip down, breaking these lows, which is quite weird. So yeah, if we take out that supply, we'll obviously take out this high and price will be shifting bullish again. So yeah, it's just waiting on EURUSD. And if we take a look at GU, we can see that we've been stalling so far right here. Even though we had red news this morning on GBP, we're still just consolidating, and it still counts as liquidity to push down into this demand before heading up higher. What could also happen is we have liquidity over here. It's not really a supply, but we have liquidity above this high. So price could push up from here since it's consolidating, and it could just peak up above this, which would create liquidity just below the supply. Then if price comes down, it's actually good for us because it leaves behind liquidity for when we are targeting the supply later on. But yeah, obviously we had this break, so GU should be bearish if we want to be mechanical. However, you can see that this was a very weak break. There's no momentum, price barely went through it. It was sort of like just breaking, just closing below and then pushing up again. So this kind of looks more like a liquidity grab at the moment. So we still need to wait and see if price later on, after taking that liquidity, comes and manages to give us a stronger break to really confirm the bearish trend momentum. But otherwise, even if you zoom out, you could just really see price has been struggling in this range. We were creating a lot of liquidity here, which eventually let price push up, and now we're again it just looks really rangy over here. Like price was again creating wicks here, then impulsively came up, took that liquidity, and then it reverse came down, and then it's been doing the same thing again, creating liquidity, came down, this time not as impulsively as over here. Like they were really impulsive bullish breaks. Here this was not a strong bearish break. So yeah, that's why I'm just waiting, because GU shows very clearly when it's intentional with which direction it wants to go, and this time it's not showing that. So yeah, let's just see how price continues to develop in the next days. All right, thanks guys.